Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I am Khadijah Denise, and this is the Awkward Funny Podcast. I do apologize if I look a little bit tired. I'm pretty sure you may not even notice, but y'all, I'm like on a 24-hour fast. I'm not doing any like solid food, so only like water, green tea, and black coffee. But I am hungry. I am tired, and I'm ready to eat. I got a few more hours left, but I figured I'd keep myself busy and record a podcast episodes. So y'all, please bear with me. I may be a little bit delusional today. So I figure I keep myself busy for the next few hours until, it's time for me to eat. So I just want to chit chat. This may not be like the typical episode that I make, but the spirit put it on my heart to talk about lust and loneliness. And so I want to touch base on that and also just kind of share my experience with it and how I'm overcoming it. Or I'm like 90%, 95%. I'm like all the way there, I think. Maybe, kind of, whatever. So, anywho, lust and loneliness it's a deadly combination, right? It's like you almost can't have one without the other because if you are lonely and you have not became okay with being in your lonely season and your isolation season, you will maybe seek out that validation that you know is not good for you, whether it be the internet or that person that we shall not name, right? So those type of things will cause you to give into the lust and give into the flesh. And I'm not a super religious person, y'all, but let's be real. We're human. That desire is there and you have to make a conscious effort when it comes to, not giving into your flesh, fighting that lust. So that's why we have to be very mindful about the people that we hang around, the conversations that we indulge in, even the music that we listen to, the things that we watch on TV, all of that stuff. And I'm like, girl, like, I don't want to live in a convent. I get it. Trust me, I do. So I have been abstaining. It'll be 3 years in a few weeks. I can't believe it's been that long. And it's been so easy. After the first year, the rest of the year just kind of fly by. I think that goes with anything that you kind of give up. After, social media, drinking, drugs, whatever. I feel like after that first year, that's kind of like, it's kind of easy sailing from there. But I'm not gonna even hold y'all. Like, it was very easy. It has been very easy. Just because when I first started my journey, I was dealing with this guy and I'm like, I don't want to be with him. And he kept mentioning things about like having a kid and not knowing that he didn't let it slip. He blatantly told me that he had previous women have abortions. But I'm like, no, you're not going to trap me. And the fact that you're talking about this like willy nilly is not okay. And he told me that, oh, well, I told them if they have the kids, they're going to be single parents. And I was like, you know what? This is not somebody I want to deal with. This person is never going to change. Maybe they have. I haven't, I spoke to him the last time I went to, well, maybe like, it's been a long time. And then he found me on Snapchat. I blocked him on there. He found me on Facebook. And mind you, my Facebook now is only looking for like Tulum, like places to live. And when I travel to other places, I join expat groups and things of that nature. So I'm like, how are you finding me? I know I'm not being suggested to you, right? So you're consciously like taking the time out to look for me. And that is an unhealthy soul tie. Like to this day, like I'm not gonna even hold you. Like I was thinking about this person this morning. I'm like, I was thinking about all the things that I did wrong, the things that I could have did differently. And I'm just like, why can't I just shake this? I know that I'm better than him for sure. I don't have to be that person, but the growth is there. Okay, you see the glow. You see the glow. But that's another point. When we indulge in sexual activities with people who are not our, well, not even a significant other, it can be your significant other, but it can still create an unhealthy soul tie. So if it's not a person that you're equally yoked with or someone who just has good intentions for you and good energy and good spirits, like it's going to weigh down on you. It's going to affect you. And again, I don't want to make it like a super religious. This is just facts, y'all. And if you, I mean, we're all adults. We've dealt with that one person that we just cannot get rid of, who just won't leave us alone, right? So I said all that to say, I knew that because I thought this was going to be like my person for whatever reason. I mean, it was a little bit of loneliness. If I'm being truthful, I don't think it was lust. It was just something I was doing for the sake of doing it. I know that sounds horrible, but when you're going through the motions and you haven't really completely healed and figure out who you want to be and the things that you want to do, then I mean, you find yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in. And I think that's the thing that I keep coming back to, and I think that's the thing that that I feel bad about, and I keep putting I haven't let myself like fully forgive myself for making that decision. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I should have been left him alone. He shouldn't even know my name, and it's still haunting me to this day, y'all. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not, because I was going back and forth because I was staying in Mississippi and at my parents' house, and I was like, well, I'm gonna stay out here until I get ready to go to Accra because I was planning on doing, the thing, moving to Accra, all of this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I was going back and forth. That's when I still have my braces. It's been that long, y'all. Like I've had my braces off for a few years. So I still have my braces. I was going back to Houston to, get the adjustment. And I would, stay with him. And I'm like, is it really worth me saving a couple $100s? Like, girl, spend your money and have your peace. But the last time that I went out there and I stayed with him, it was around 3 years ago in a few weeks. I remember because it was around Halloween time. And I had met up with one of my homegirls and we went to like do day party stuff and do the things. Y'all know how we do the things, right? I was like, he didn't even check on me to make sure I made it back to Mississippi okay. And that's when I knew I'm not doing this anymore. Blocked. And don't call me. I don't want to talk to you. So now this person is still looking for me. But that's neither here or there. It has been very easy because once I left Houston and I left that, now don't get me wrong. I was still traveling. I had went to Belize. I had went to, of course, I had came back to Mexico a few times. I actually think I had went to Ghana. I think I had went to Ghana after I've been to Ghana since my braces came off. So, I was still traveling, doing all the things. I was going back and forth to Houston. I just wasn't, having any kind of communication with this person. But there was more than enough opportunity if I wanted to get into some trouble. There's men in Mississippi, but the slow down, girl. The thing that I found that, and I hate to call people country, but I just was running into a lot of people who were just country and they didn't really want to think outside the box and they were just content in their little shell, and that's okay. That's just not the type of person I want to be involved with. So honestly, my environment made it really easy for me to just abstain. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to date. I'm not going to really entertain conversations. Y'all, I'm hungry. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm not even going to entertain conversations that they're going nowhere, right? So one, I know we just can all move up, pack up and move to a small town. And, I didn't even have a phone. I didn't even have a phone. Like, I only had communication on Wi-Fi, y'all. That's how deep into my healing season that I was. My folks would get mad at me because they were like, girl, how are we supposed to contact you if you're not at home? I'm like, but I'm always at home for the most part. Just run to the Walmart, get a couple groceries, whatever case may be. So, change your environment. Again, I know that we can all just pick up and move, but at the same time, we still need to be creating the environment. That's with anything that you do. You need to be creating the proper environment, right? It's just like if you want to start, not a farm, shit. If you want to start like planting flowers and things of that nature, you have to make sure the soil is rich and they got the weeds and things of that nature, right? So environment, one, the people that you surround yourself with is very important as well. Because if you're constantly around people and they're so male-centered or female-centered, that's all they think about, that's all they talk about, like that's what their world revolves around, and they're constantly making the same mistakes. We're human, right? We do fall weak to the flesh, right? But you keep making the same mistakes. We can't be friends. I can't hang around people who really don't, their values don't align with mine. And not to say that everyone that you are around, they don't have to be holier than thou. But I am around people and we don't really discuss sexual activities. That's not a topic of conversation because I feel as an adult, what's understood doesn't have to be said, right? If you're in a healthy, sometimes an unhealthy relationship, we already know what happens in a relationship between men and women, right? So that's not a conversation that we need to have. But also, the things that we watch on TV, we need to be mindful of the things that we're watching on TV. The over explicit movies, either don't watch it if you know what type of movie it is, or we fast forward through those things. It's to the point now it makes me uncomfortable to even watch it. So I don't know. I think we're getting to the point where a lot of people just don't like to see it because sometimes it's like, what is this scene even in here for? Like, why am I watching y'all hunch? This has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with anything. Literally, the storyline does not need a sex scene. But that's neither here or there. Social media. Y'all gotta either get off the social media or you can refresh your feed and clear it out and make sure it's very curated to the things that you want to see. And if that's twerking and shaking tail, then you on the wrong podcast because that's not what we're doing. But seriously, I mean, I don't like to see posts about hunching on each other. I don't want to see twerking. I don't want to see men in their underwear or even like in like pajama pants and you know they don't have no drawers on. Like, this is not necessary. What is this? I just block them. I don't want that type of stuff coming up on my feed. If there's posts that's overly sexualized, even if it's a topic that I don't care to talk about, block. Not interested. I don't want that coming up on my feed. It's just that simple. The music that you listen to, you're gonna have to switch that up as well. I tried listening to something earlier and it was supposed to be like a black girl manifestation rap song. I'm like, okay, it started off pretty cool. But when she started talking about what her and her dude be doing, I'm like, girl, what this got to do with manifesting blessings and all that? What that got to do with anything, girl? So, nope, I won't be listening to that anymore. Again, I'm not a super saved person and all this other type of stuff. I just know that I want to be very intentional about the things that I consume. We can't be out here listening to Cardi B and the WAP and the Megans and all those people. If you have to, I mean, you don't really have to, but if you just like, oh, this is my jam, like this is what I work out to, cool. But again, the same way that manifestations and words of affirmation and positive thinking and positive self-talk works, y'all know I'm going with this. The same way that what you're constantly listening to, what you're constantly watching, the conversation that you're constantly having subconsciously is going to trigger when you're by yourself and you had too much to drink and that demon juice and that tequila and the Don Julio and the Casamigos and y'all get sex happy. Y'all can actually like have an app blocker. Not only does it work for social media when you just want a break from social media, it works on your text messages. So at a certain point in time, like if you know you're going to be drinking that night and you may get a lot out of hand, once you home safely, it can do it like when you arrive to a place. So it'll, of course, check your location. So once you get home, it'll automatically turn your text off. and you're blocked. Like you can't get into the messages. So that's an option. I mean, I haven't had to do that because I'm out here in Mexico and I'm just really not interested in these men. Either they're hella weird or they like white women. And that's completely fine. If that's your preference, by all means, do you, boo. But again, you can't keep listening to the same things, watching the same things, and then wonder why every time you get a little lonely and you know, oh, let me call this person. Let me text this person. Well, honestly, you're just bored. You're just bored. Because let's be so for real, y'all. It ain't hitting the same way it used to. When you still had butterflies and you still had rainbows and clouds in your eyes and you really didn't know what type of person this person was. Because if this person was a great person and y'all were meant to be, then y'all would be. And there would be no need for being lonely and then ultimately lusting after this person when you get bored and you get a little alcohol in your system and you feeling some type of way and your feelings and you're listening to the things and they doing the things and it makes you feel like it's okay for you to do the thing. So now you in a situation that you shouldn't even be in. I know this person personally was lonely for her birthday. Mind you, she already had a baby by a guy who wasn't doing anything for the first child. She wanted somebody to spend time with on her birthday. Rightfully so. But girl, you better do a solo date. You will meet people when you go out. Ended up getting pregnant. Now she's about to have a baby in January by the same man. And the crazy part about it is that's why you should be very careful about the things that you say because there's life and death in the power of the tongue. She said, let me stop playing around before he end up being my baby daddy again. Well, I mean, unless he's already a baby daddy, but y'all get the point. And God forbid, that's what happened. I mean, of course, there's worse thing that could happen. But for me, that's one of the worst. Being a single parent to I'm not bashing single mothers. Like my mom was single parent until she remarried or whatever the case may be. And that's one of the reasons why I refused to be one because I saw the struggles that she went through and also the burden that not burden, but the responsibility that it placed on me as the oldest child. I'm like, I'm cool. I won't do that. And there's no knock. I know people love their kids and sometimes you are in a loving situation and it just don't work. That's completely fine. This is not a bash towards single mothers. What I'm saying is we put ourselves in fucked up situations, excuse my French, because we are not okay with being alone. You reply to that DM from somebody that you know that you're not interested in because you're bored. Y'all out here in relationships y'all don't even want to be in because you're lonely. Loneliness and lust, deadly combination. Because people portray anything to get what they want from you. We grown, y'all. Y'all know what's up. But sometimes we need a gentle reminder. People will pretend to be. That's why when people ask me what type of man you like, okay. So when guys ask me what type of man I like, I don't tell them anything. I said, I'm just going to watch and see. And if it aligns with what I like, then we'll go from there. Never tell a man the type of things that you look for in a man. Again, it's not a bash towards men or anything like that. Even guys, like if you're watching this, just let them show you who they are. And only let them show you once. That mask can only stay on for so long. Only let somebody show you one time who they are. Your flesh will have you indulging in things with people that you don't even like. Y'all know how crazy that is. And I think, I mean, I can't, I'm going to say more so men than women. Because men have said this, like, men don't care about who they sleep, for the most part. Because I don't want y'all in the comments, I'm bashing men, I'm a man hater, whatever. Men, for the most part, they said this out of their own mouths. They don't give a damn. That's why when they cheat on you, she doesn't even compare. She doesn't even compare to you. And then you're in your feelings and your confidence is shot because it's like, why was I not enough? You're going to the gym, you're working out every day, and then he goes cheat on you with somebody who doesn't. It knows the Wingstop staff by heart. They don't care, y'all. So just be comfortable with being in your loneliness. And it is going to be lonely. That's why they call it loneliness. Okay? Okay. All jokes aside, it's gonna suck sometimes. And even for me, like being in another country, I'm extra lonely, y'all, because like I can't just go and hang out with my sister or hang out with my friends and, take a trip and go see my aunt or, see my mom, like people that I know love me and get a hug and, just spend time. Right. So now I'm out here, I'm just like, I gotta face my shit. I gotta look at myself like, hey, you like to gossip a little bit, a little bit too much. I'm like, you know what? I'm sure right. I'm gonna stop doing that. Because and that's why I had to take a break from social media. Like Instagram, I had to like either mute people or unfollow them if they're doing toxic things and just not doing shit with life. Because what that's going to do is that's going to make me feel like, oh, I'm doing better than them. But girl, you ain't doing what you want to do. You ain't got the numbers on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram. You ain't got your TikTok up, babes. You ain't made it on your other YouTube. Like, you still struggling to get to 10K. You barely got 20 on this channel. So you don't have time to be sitting around talking about folks. Yeah, they doing worse than you. Unfollow them so you don't have that complex of feeling like you're doing better than. I mean, you are, but it's also somebody who's doing better than you because they're not sitting around comparing themselves and talking down on people. That's a whole nother topic for another day. I'm just speaking about myself and things that I have to look in within and figure out. Like, I know I can procrastinate, but that also comes with a little bit of ADHD and I just be all over the place and I'm overthinking and I'm in my head. Just like, you have to really just sit and talk to yourself and write down and talk to God, Allah, whomever you believe in the universe. That's why people don't like being lonely, because you really have to face your shit. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because only good can come from the other side of it. So I'm going to leave y'all with that because I don't want this podcast to be too long. But just remember, it's okay to be alone. Surround yourself with really good people who have the same intentions as you. Even if you have to cut off friends, families, if you got to set up the plan to move to a different job, like, I know it's so cliche, but this is the only life that we don't get another chance, y'all. And if not now, then when? My biggest fear is leaving this world without doing all the things that God has placed in my heart. So, with that, I'm going to let you all go. Please, 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 I beg you, protect your energy, protect your peace if it doesn't feel right, even for the sake of just having somebody around. Just something to do. Or I'm just going to do this because for the plot. It's just another way of saying I'm doing this even though I know it's beneath me. All right, I'm really going to let y'all go for real. I love y'all. Until next time, peace. Bye.